coming in, right? I just went live. We just went live. So be advised.
Live on YouTube as well.
We are streaming.
This is our last. All of our shows are going to go a last round of a spotlight. Yeah, because what we're going to do is we're going to start offering our spotlight shows are going to be free on the network. So every fourth Trinity show will be viewable by the public on Sology Network, whether they're subscribed or not. Okay. Does that make sense, senoritas? Okay.
Yes.
I'm just going to pull up the comments so we can see people. Carmen Cortez is here.
He's first again.
He's first. Carmen Cortez. Julie Fitzpatrick. Okay, let me just pull up the thing. Okay.
A fun, interesting side note while we're
good. Go ahead.
Was talking with Elsa, and I said, she was like, "Are we going live or on the network?" And I said, Todd said we're going to be on the network, but the guides are telling me that they're pretty confident we're going on social media. I think that's really fun because I don't usually trust them. And I told her, and it was,
you don't trust them?
I don't trust them enough to say it to someone else.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, I just got this from Julie Dara Roberts. And I'm looking at it. It looks like an owl, among other things. And she said she picked some Indaras. She picked one for my daughter, one for my mother, and one for me. We saw her over in she gave one to Anna as well. And she was giving them away because she went to Sandra Walter's convergence. So she brings them as gifts to people, but she puts thought into it. And she said, I'm giving you this one because it signifies star family and broadcast or something. I can't remember it all, but it really, when she said it to me, I was like, yeah, I'm getting that. Right. And then my mother gave me this stuff. She got this, right? Have you ever seen one of these? This is a freaking crystal, right? It has all this rainbow in it. It starts with a B. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing all that up is because I've been getting massive downloads through the 8-hour trip with my mother yesterday, and so there's a bunch of telepathy taking place, even with the RIT partners. And they sent me a message like, we haven't talked in a while. You want to talk? I'm like, yeah, you're right on time. So I don't want to make it all about what's happening at Sology, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's moving so fast, and Sology seems to be paralleling what's happening collectively. So the way I understand it is we have this bridge, and the bridge over these next few weeks, we're going to make the bridge complete. In other words, we've made the bridge. We're going to say, hey, here's the bridge. You can walk on the bridge and you can come over here to the other side. And the way we're going to do that, like in the embodiment part of it, is I'm going to go out on social media a lot on behalf of Sology, get my shows going. And then these spotlight shows will go one last round on social media, and then they'll be available as a free, you can watch it free without subscription on the network. So like 1 in 4 shows will be free. We'll have free material on the network. And then of course the subscriptions are $12.12 a month. There's a whole bunch of other stuff happening. A whole bunch. Like the excerpts will be in this weekend. So this shit's going down. Anyway, I'm all over the place. How are y'all doing? Somebody want to go jump in there? I can jump in later. My face is peeling, but it's peeling in the moment.
I couldn't tell if it was sparkles or peeling.
Yeah, it's peeling like crazy. It's never peeled this way. It's been peeling since 2016. Anytime we have something come in all around my third eye, but now it's all over my head. But this morning it looked just like a field of talcum powder or something. And then I what do you do when you rub it off?
Exfoliate.
I exfoliated it, and I went to the freaking juice store. I was gone 30 minutes. I came back and I exfoliated it, and then I put this shea butter stuff on it, moisturizer stuff, like, and by the time I came back, it was all back. And then I did it again, and then I'm gonna start the show, and I look in the mirror, and it's all back. So we're burning some serious stuff here.
I've been having weird acne like kind of stuff, the bubbles that Elsa and I were talking about. They're not acne really. It's just the best way to describe it. All in this area too. I light up, I get a pink, changes different shapes and stuff. It's kind of fun to go and look at. It's like, it looks like a birthmark, but then it fades away.
Yeah, we've been getting pooling here of toxins or whatever, and they come out either through your lips or your chin. And the horses have got it as well, and the dogs. And I'm like, wow, so this is species now. Yeah, so I go on about this because a lot of the time I go, I'm just getting older. And then I go, no, I'm not. It's because the kids have it too. And then I go outside and a chicken's got a limp or something. So I'm like, we're okay. It's just what's going on. You need that pat on the back though, right? That okay? Because you have to check in with yourself all the time going, is this just me? Is this just me? And you go,
I've had a really crazy time, just like everybody else. So I apologize for I'm just still absorbed. So about 30 minutes, well, okay, so like 45 minutes ago, something happened. And I was like scouring I'm like, is it solar flares? Is it Schumann resonance? Something's going on in my body right now. And so my apologies to both of you for not being as available as I normally am, but something's happening. And something more. I kind of expected that I'd have a minute to calibrate because I figured Todd would be like, I got 35 minutes of stuff to say, so I could like hang out for a minute.
yeah, he's not 35-minuting us.
No, he's not.
This exfoliation process.
Yeah. Did you want me to 35-minute it? I actually feel the same way. I feel like I'm, yeah. Okay. Who's gonna start?
All right. Well, I can.
You're gonna start.
I can go. I can do it if you want.
You go. You're the only one. You're the only one not exfoliating. So
no.
Go.
Well, I've been in hermits, so
I'm gonna record this just in case we need. Okay, here we go.
So I always say, oh, here we go. I go into hermit mode and I go into, it's not shutdown, but I just pull everything into my shell, and it's how I regroup. And I personally, I've heard other Geminis do this. They go really quiet. It's like the other side. So I'm quite vocal, and then I just go, and that's when I go dig. Digging's the best. Yeah, digging. Anyway, I heard lots of phrases like just in the last 3 weeks. I've been a light worker for so many years, and I'm like, what? You're a light worker? And I hear this phrase a lot, and it's funny because I say to them, you don't need to be a light worker. You're okay. You don't have to wear this anymore, this heaviness of being a light worker, because the light knows what to do. This is creation, right? So you're okay. Take this light worker label off you because there's nothing to do. You are solar. Soul are. That's us. Soul are. We are soul are. And I guess it sounds a lot like I'm repeating myself, but I believe that the more we realize that we are the soul, we are the sun, we are connected to the sun. She just blinked funny. Are you okay? The more we realize this, the more we lift the super organism of us, this raising raising of us. And the more we share this out, the more this intelligence lifts in all of us. And it's not intelligence how we used to think it, or it is how we used to think it, but we're taking off a few layers now of programs. So we're returning back to being this light, and the light is the intelligence. So your soul, and then this brought me to the other word, because, you know, I'm grounding, so I'm digging in the sun. And I'm a great healer. I'm healing. I go, hang on, heal is your foot. Heal is next to the soul. Heal is what balances you. It's connected to the nerve lateral plantar. So, and now I'm going, is it really this simple? It's lateral plantar, that's us. So this healing, hello, heal, hollow, it's all these words are the same. And so I get myself into this big spaghetti spin outside while I'm gardening. And I go, I'm okay. I'm still here. I'm okay. I'm breathing. I'm okay. I'm grounding. I'm okay. I don't understand all of this. I really don't. But I'm okay with it. And there's 3 steps to healing. And I've got to read this out because they're just beautiful. They're so basic, you'll just laugh. So the 3 steps to healing is to restore origin, to believe, to open, and to become a receptor. So it comes back to us being electrical frequencies, or the left and the right foot. We're like the tuning forks on earth. And I was like, wow. It's also connected to this is the other one that I found really interesting. It's connected to the small intestine, the heel, you know, when you check the meridians, and the liver. And I'm going, really? The liver? I'm just like, all right, I'm going to go back out and dig now. This is the wonderful, weird life of upside down Oz elves.
Upside down elves. Oh, you
I muted it twice because I didn't want to interrupt.
go.
Okay. Well, it's interesting too that Elsa brought up the liver, because people come to me with all these ascension symptoms and stuff. That's just kind of how this works for me. And this is one of the most common ascension symptom areas. Is there's a lot of, and so this is, if you look, acupuncture tells you what emotion is associated with what organ and stuff. And the liver is anger. And it makes a lot of sense, because what we're doing right now is we came as beings of love that had to have ability to metastasize, is the word that they use. I don't know why exactly that word. I would think digest or something, but the fear to translate it into the way that we can speak. And so this area was being used, and now it's not. That's basically what it is. So like, that's why the first waivers, and using Dolores Cannon's example of there was 3 waves of volunteers, and the first wave came first, chronologically speaking, having the more difficult time right now with this liver area. In fact, my own mother is getting a liver transplant. And so there's this whole thing about fear, or fear and anger, because they're kind of the same, right? What it is, it all comes from fear or love, right? And so this is why most people are finding that they're having a Buddha belly. Their bellies are extending Like it's like you got look, you feel like you're pregnant, like bubble. And this is happening for a lot of people. So it's really interesting you brought this up, because this is like across the board, almost everybody. It's like solar plexus, sacral chakra being ignored for too many lifetimes kind of stuff. I went on that tangent instead of the one I meant to. Sorry. I'll be quiet now.
This swelling of the belly.
Keep going.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
swelling of the belly is great, Pamela. Because again, not only us, but the animals. So this is not a human psychological thing. This is the environment and others and other species all interacting, because it's now. It's they. And you said the first wavers, you said this term before. I love this term because this is what a lot of the kids' drawings of beings, all the beings, this might be interesting for a lot of Reiki people. They always hold their hand up like this. A lot of the drawings that the kids have drawn with beings is first contact to us is this, their hand up, or two hands up, or the other way. You won't see, but their hands are hanging down and their hands, but they're showing us this. I know the American Indians do this, and we do this as a wave, first wavers. Hello, hi, we're here. And it's so playful. Yeah. This is what babies do. Hi. Yeah. And so we're just like these second wavers and third waves are all coming through, and we're all saying hello. Now I know hello has hell in it, but hello comes back to the word heal. It's balance. Heal, hello, heal, hello, heal us, helium. All these words come back to healing, which is balance, coming back to our origins. It's cute, right?
Yeah, you actually reminded me of a different, but a thing too, that the first real contact that I had, it was this many fingers though. So like it was, their fingers were very long, and they came, and that was where this triangle electricity thing, and it went and it made a contact above my eyebrow on both sides. And then you could that's when I started first being able to follow the wave of energy in people's bodies, because then I could follow my own electricity wave that came from that being's hand. And you can follow it through your brain, and then follow the synapses, like the inside of our bodies. It's not just in our brain, it's all over our body. These energy charges of jumping electricity in different colors. And if we follow it and kind of ask it to go someplace, like you would if you're on a wave, like surfing, only asking the wave to move a direction for you. Speaking of waves, you can guide it and heal yourself. That's how we heal self. Is just sending the light where it needs to go.
Wow. And then, I didn't even think of wave in the ocean. So this is a body of, so this is a body of ion movements, which is what's happening, right?
Mm.
Wow. This is, okay, I'm having ahas over here. I'm going to go mute, listen to you for a bit.
The code. It's extraordinary.
The code.
The code is extraordinary. Yeah, just a couple of observations here to explain the code. Like, what is Joan Hurt? I can't wait to meet Todd's mother at the Soulgy Fest. She will be there. I hear she's a pistol. Yes, she is. Victoria Rolfe's coming. I've seen that. I believe she lives in England. I saw her name on it. There's Sarah Cruz. She drove 18 hours from Lincoln, Nebraska to Sedona. She discovered Soulgy 2 months ago. Beautiful woman, 44 years old. It was the weekend of her birthday. Her birthday was the 19th September. I think that first show was the 24th. She brought her tuning forks. She's always been in service her whole life. And she came and she said, I know I'm about to go into the next iteration of my life, service, but it's going to be in this atmosphere, this new, like we were sharing there at the gathering. And then I see here, she says, healing folks with tuning forks. And then she says, where is it? She said that she's, in other words, I saw it in here. She said something about ever since I went to the Soulology gathering, I'm making up the words, but I saw it. I know I saw it. Ever since I went to the Soulology gathering, she basically said, oh yeah, I'm starting a holistic healing studio in my hometown this weekend, ! Life is falling right into place since my trip to Sedona. So, listening to Athena the Human Witness, Lisa Harrison, a few other people, everybody talks about this stuff in a different way. I have my own downloads, talking to my own friends and this and that. And we're literally the gods and the goddesses in the flesh. It's no bullshit anymore. We've been talking about this stuff for years, and now it's happening. I don't know about y'all, but the last 24 hours have been just absolutely mind-blowing. I arrived last night. My mother and I drove 8 hours. My mother, 84 years old, getting healing sessions, getting activated by Sedona, purging, integrating. 20 minutes before the last show on the 30th, she was taking a nap. She was doing grid work in Sedona. She didn't even know it. I'm just going to go up the street here because I don't want to get lost. And she ends up covering all bases, ends up going out, like drives out of town. She put like over 150 miles on the car. So she's laying down, and I walk in and say, hey, and her hair's all like out and her eyes are all bugged. And she's like, you were just here. I said, what do you mean? She goes, you were just standing here. Your hair was all crazy. You had this crazy look in your eyes. And she's like, I'm not going. I'll watch it on the internet. But so yesterday, I got up early, had a little breakfast, did some work, and I thought she's going to be sleeping a while, So I'll go lay down on the bed and get an hour rest because I got a long drive. So I go and lay down, and about 30 minutes, and then she, I just turned to look at her, and she's looking at me, and her hair's, again, and she goes, I looked over there, you were levitating. So again, it's not any one incident. I've talked to some other people. They're talking about seeing physical aspects of their soul. Like, let's say the three of us. They're saying that they're seeing other people who are literally physical embodiments of themselves. And I said to them, because they're like, do you feel that way? Do you feel that way about this person or that person? And I said, well, in other words, like, where do you want to stop that question? Where do you want to start it? Because ultimately, yes, every single one and every single thing is me. But we're just coming into this now where we're people can call it soul tribe, they can call it whatever they want to call it, but it's starting to register, right? And and that's where this whole question becomes, what is love? Am I supposed to take action with this like we did in the old paradigm because we feel something? Well, no, I got news for you. It's everybody. It's my mother. It's my, friend. It's my stranger. It's all these people. My daughter was there in Sedona. The first show was with my mother. The last show was with my daughter. My daughter's never sung publicly before. All these things happening and all this soul recognition. The two healers that came to the second show on the 30th, they're about, man, I'm getting throat chakra. They have to be 70. Rick and Deb Purcell. I've met a lot of healers. These people were the real thing. He, He looked at you and scanned you, and she spoke. So that's another mirror of unity right there. Those two. One's the eyes, one's the mouth. Craziest thing. So I'm sitting next to this guy. They said, we would like to do a healing on you. The first thing they told me, actually, and again, he sees, she speaks. They sit down next to me. I sit in the middle. And she says to me, he's looking at your mother. He scanned your mother. And your mother's chest is the cosmos. And she said, when he sees that, that means that she is an energy being. I don't even know how she got herself in a body. She's from the 22nd dimension. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I totally get it. That's when I knew I was locked in with these two people. Now I'm in this triad. So I look at him because she's talking to me, right? She starts telling me stuff that she's seeing, which was a whole nother story I won't get into. But I look at him as I'm hearing her voice, right behind me. I'm looking at him, and I can see he's speaking to me. And I look in his eyes, his soul, and I'm thinking, what the hell? I want to kiss this guy. Like, I love this guy. Like, what's going on here? Right? But this is what's happening. And I think the last thing I would say too is, like, if I just take an example, last night, I came in last night. We drove in last night. There was heavy, huge storm system was forecast. And my mother's like, we're gonna get wet. The whole day it was clear as a bell. And you could see in the horizon as we approached Houston, this big black arc, just massive. And I dropped her off, and I said, did you have a good time? She said, I had a beautiful time. And she hugged me. And I got in the car. I'm driving back to my house across town, and then the blackness starts coming, you know. And so I came in and got kind of everything in. And all of a sudden, it was like, because I'm in this old suburb where I've been, my grandmother's house one block away, and all this stuff I talked about on the shows, where I was homeless. Man, I was laying in the bed, you know, and I was like, man, I gotta go. I gotta get out on the streets. So I started walking on the streets, and I felt like a fucking animal. It's like, rah, you know, and I was like, I need to be in these streets, you know, I need to feel these streets. I'm from the streets. Somebody mentioned soil to soul. I mean, it was just this primordial thing. And then I went to 4 places that I go. Okay. And I would say the 4 places that I go, and the juice bar, so that would be 5. I went there this morning. 4 places that I go. And 2, so I went to the first place, which is the one I go to the most. I'll just tell everybody, it's a bar. You know, I go write music. I have a whiskey, I have a beer, smoke a cigarette. Let all the truth come out. And I write music. I thought, I went for this long walk. I stopped there right when I was coming home. I'm gonna go in here. I walk in, doesn't even look like the same place. Nobody's inside, just the bartender. Nobody's inside, and the place looks totally different. And she treats me like a king. So then I'm like, okay, this is trippy, you know? So then I go, I'm hungry. I'm going to go to this other place and get a taco. I go in there, same thing. The waitress starts whispering to the bartender, and it's about me, and I can tell because we're telepathic now. Like, what's going on? They come over, they treat me like a king. So then I go to a third place, same thing. Those 2 places look different too. They weren't the same thing. It was weird. I'm writing this down as I'm writing this song. The first line I write is, everywhere I go, they treat me like a king. You know, WTF, what's going on here? So then I come home and I lay down. And again, I'm told, no, you got to go one more place. It's this bar that has like a courtyard with picnic tables where my daughter goes, all the young people go. And again, I'm like, man, I really don't want to do this. No, you got to go. So I go. I walk over there, you know, I sit down, and again, they treat me like a king. But again, it seems like a totally different place, right? 2 of the 4 places, definitely beyond a shadow of a doubt, was not the same place. The other 2 had a person that was there, but the person was not the same person that they were in the other dimension. Everything was expanded. Everything was telepathic. Everything was cool. And the other thing that was really extraordinary is I have been struggling to write, because the things that I've been writing have been heart connected, which I guess most artists would say, right? And then I kind of got to this space, and there's no pain, there's no suffering, there's no, and you're like, wait a minute, but the heart is like the number one thing here. How do I tap into this? So I go to that. When I went to the first place, it was so surreal and so weird. My human came in and goes, oh, you're not supposed to be here. This is not your vibration. And then the soul came in and said, hey, bullshit. Every bit of this is you. Every bit of this is you. No more running from anything. Wherever you are, you're supposed to be, and they're supposed to be here. Whether they're beautiful, ugly, short, tall, fat, slim, whatever the different adjectives are, smelly, good aroma, good music, crappy music. And I was like, my soul was like, bullshit. You're to be here. Be present. Man, as soon as I said it, somebody changed the jukebox. Boom. This chill mix came in. I get my phone out, I start writing, and I start writing it with a semantic and geometric pattern. I'm like, oh, I remember this. You know, it was like blank, another, blah, 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 mother, blah, 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 brother. And it was like this weird, perfect rhyme, right? And it was an aspect to me that showed me this 12 years ago in the form of the biblical prophet Isaiah. It's called chiasmus. I looked it up. It's CHIAM, etc. Tells me about it, and I looked it up. It's actually there. So anyway, in that moment that I accepted everything and realized that it was my own judgment that was running these programs. My judgment creates the programs. My judgment of someone else, my judgment of myself, my judgment of an environment. Every bit of this is gold. That's when these massive downloads started coming in, right? So I'm hearing these 6 different aspects of me streaming in their wisdom, which I was reacquainted with 12 years ago. And they're coming in saying, it's time, it's time, it's time. And the key, the vehicle is this writing. Oh, now you got it. Oh, and it's not just the words, it's the arrangement of the music that Ty does, and it's the way the words are resonated and so on. And again, it was all code. It was just my experience, but sharing it with a couple others this morning, man, I don't know. I woke up today and I was like, what the hell just happened? I literally closed my eyes and I opened it and I felt like Sedona was a dream. And and I know this is not unique to me. So anyway, that's what I can tell you right now. And I understand that. So if what your thoughts are on this, I know Sandra Walter does like a monthly thing. I think it's this weekend. I heard this last month. I actually heard it from another platform, and I mentioned it on this platform with the lady Ashley Lee had on The Miracle Is You last week, who was channeling, unlike a channel I'd ever seen, really. And I had a conversation with her ET aspect from Telos, the planet, not beneath the Shasta. And that is that we will be having contact this month with appearances. And now you're talking about the hand, right? The healing hand, which for me, when I woke up, this was the first thing that was given to me. Your left hand is your healing hand. Jesus came in and showed me. So I would always project it and, do things with it and learn how to play with it, which reminds me, there's these two German ladies that came over from Germany 12 years ago. They were offered, we'll get you naturalized, give me some money. And, this guy was going to take care of them. They come over here and they got screwed. 5 years ago, I'm coming from California and they're like, hey, you can stay in my house. Come to my house. I go into these ladies' house, two German ladies, 70 years old. They were friends platonically. They fell in love with each other. And they're the most beautiful fucking thing you've ever seen in the world, man. Elfie and Rita. So stayed with them a week. Every day, they'd have this big oval table. Twice a day, it would be full of cheese, fruit, bread, gherkins. I mean, it was like I'm like, how the hell are you people? You had to roll me out of here like a bowling ball, It was beautiful. The last night we were there, light language, drums going off, sacred song. I went to in the middle of a suburb with these two 70-year-old plus ladies in the middle of the night. And this is crazy, right? So then 2019, 2020, 2021, they call me up. Todd. And these were the ones in the background. They were limited income. They're living illegally in the United States of America. It's a great story. They're connected. They're doing grid work. They're transmuting demonic forces, the whole nine yards, man. Astro Command. I mean, this is, so they call me up and they say, Spirit told us to get rid of everything we have, put what we can in our car, and drive to Sedona, and we're going to find a house. And the house will be shown to us. So 2 years later, they're still living in a bedroom with all their stuff in the bedroom where they can't even walk just to get into the bed at a couple's house. And it's not a good situation. They're in a dark area and they're doing 2 years of transmuting for the collective. Every time I would go to Sedona, they would say, hey, we want to come see you. And they'd come say, please help us find a house. I'm like, for what you guys can pay and what's going on here in Sedona, it's not going to happen, but I'll keep looking, put them on the show, tell people about it. So this time I go and they say, oh, we're going to come see you. We're still looking for a house. We can't take this anymore, man. We can't do it. So, and this is the reason I'm telling you this is because this is another accentuation or example of what the hell just happened. I feel like something literally, we slammed the fucking door shut. So I'm like, okay, I'll be there. Okay, we're coming. I'm there about 5 days. The first show's coming up and like, Elfie's in the hospital. She was in her bed. She couldn't move. She couldn't even move. So they get kicked out of the house they're in. Literally happens in succession. 911 is called. Ambulance comes and gets her. And in a 5-day period, she has 3 surgeries. Okay. And they tell her she's got cancer. And they send me this message. Now, this is the day of the last show, the 30th. And I'm like, whoa. I said, well, I'll try to get by to see you, And they call me from the hospital room. Well, the nurse is here checking us out and giving us the medication. And we're right. As soon as we get out of here, we're kind of Sedona. I'm like, are you serious? What? Aren't you going to go home? No, we got kicked out. I mean, I'm talking warriors, man. So anyway, they pull up at 4:00. She can't come upstairs where I'm at because she's in a wheelchair. She just had 3 surgeries. Oh, and by the way, when they told her she had cancer, she told them, no, I don't. And the other two said, no, she doesn't. And when I saw them, and by the time they arrived in Sedona, and I drove them to a hotel, and at the exact moment, my daughter was pulling up in a shuttle at the same hotel. And some other friends were there, all at the same time. So at that time, they were 95% healed. The next day I saw them 98% healed. They get a hotel room in Sedona. It's $300 a night. 3 people. They got 2 nights for $60 total. How the hell does that happen? And they tell me the whole story. I won't get into it because I won't take up the time. But there's so many dots connecting, right? So the next day I had these people come over at 12 for a lunch at the condo. A few people. Beautiful experience. We did cacao ceremony, Divine Roberts, Shakina Rose, Anaya. And Anaya tells me, I need a roommate. She lives right down the street. I need a roommate. I'm in this house. It costs, too much for me. I said, hey, I know these 2 German ladies, and they're in bad shape. They're in a hotel over here. Here's what happened. She's like, tell them to come over. Anyway, long story short, next morning, they go over. I go over with my mother. Last thing I do coming out of Sedona, come see us, please. Okay. Now, I have many things on my mind, obviously, right? Now I got to drive 17 hours back. And Rita, the beautiful, more feminine, she's like, in the German voice, you come. I'm like, all right, turn back around. Now I'm sitting here in my head, like I had to pay, it's the end of the month, pay this, pay that, pay this. Oh, I'm $200 short because my rent, if I'm here, I can negotiate it, right? I can pay it or whatever, but now I'm not here. I'm like, okay, I need $200 because I can't get this $200 over there. And I got to, how am I going to do this? Right. So I go over there and we walk in, and there's a queen bed and a rollout bed because her friend from California has been helping him. She was there. And I walk in, and Elfie looks like somebody just gave her the youth serum or something, Her face is full of color, her eyes, her soul's popping. I mean, she gets up on the edge of the bed. I mean, this woman just had 3 surgeries, her colon, her intestines, and some other one. This is all in a few days. And she's just beaming, thank you, and it's just a beautiful, incredible moment. We got a hotel for $60 for 2 nights. I mean, it's unheard of. It's unheard of anywhere. So Rita walks over to me and clasps my hand and said, don't even think about not taking this. And I could feel paper, and I knew it was cash. So I just stuck it in my pocket, and thanked her and everything. We said our goodbyes. I'm walking out to the car. I open my hand. I pull the thing out. It's 4 $50 bills. Now, so this is the reality. And like my friends that I talked to a couple of days ago, talking about the recognizing aspects of ourselves and other people. It's every fucking one of us. That's it. I can't explain twin flames. I can't explain anything else, but I can explain I am soul. Right? So look what's happening. I expect my 84-year-old mother to be here for hundreds of fucking years if she wants to. I expect to be here for hundreds of years in this physical body. I expect Elfie to be here for hundreds of years in this body. I expect Elfie and Rita in their 70s, within a few years, to be 25, 30 years old in the prime physical condition. I'm sorry. I am not. And then I see Sology paralleling. We built the bridge. What's the embodiment? The embodiment is we're going to put out spotlight shows like this, and we're going to share them with the public. And then we're going to pull them back, and we're going to have them only available on the network. Yes, 1 in 4 shows will be free. The bridge will still exist. Because we're having to walk away from it all. I hear a story, final thing. I hear a story of 2 young ladies possibly coming to America from another country, from a beautiful family, that their purpose and their journey is materializing, and they're going to possibly stay. Now, what is the difference between that and Elfie and Rita coming from Germany for 10 years, living in fear, but listening to the everything that got us here, and going through what I just told you they went through? And there's a lot of people that's happening to. A lot of people are getting the illnesses and major things. Okay. But I mean, how do you explain that? How do you explain that you come out of a hospital bed and you drive to Sedona? And by the way, everybody, Mindy Chi has been diagnosed. Young, beautiful lady. Her partner is Randy, or Alessandra Gaia. Their son is named Seven. He's like Maddie. He's like yours. Else, she's got it. She's got a big smile on her face, just like Elfie. We're taking no fucking prisoners. It's time to cut the bullshit. We don't have to participate anymore. We don't have to judge anymore. And I'm telling you, the judgment's what creates the programs. There's nobody to blame. Nobody did anything to me. It's my judgment of it all. And when we can do that, which I experienced last night, the code just comes flooding through, and I can't be the only one. So, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I'm good now. I hope that helped. And oh, by the way, everybody, just for a moment, all healing, peace, love, and comfort to Mindy Chi, and to her family, and to Elfie, and to that family, and to anyone and everyone who is going through anything as we cut, the ties that bind us. I mean, we have 100% compassion for everybody. Thank you.
Well, I can hear Todd speaking about these people, but I feel like he's talking about me. So am I self-centered? No. He's speaking the words that I feel in these other people that he feels. He feels it in his mother. He feels it in his daughter. What are we feeling? We're tapping in to this energy, and you can tell me I have a brain tumor. I'm okay. That's your belief. It's not my belief. You can tell me I have this. You can tell me I have that. I know what I have, and I have this. And they have it, and that person has it, and that bird has it, and we all have this. So we literally have flipped the ship. It's literal. We've let go of our roots, and now we understand the space. So they talk about time and space is a program, and they talk about time and space is not real. This is the space. So we don't understand time, but we realize that it's been manipulating us, right? Tying me. So now we know time is not time, it's a sense. So that gets rid of that one. That gets rid of that program. Now we've let go of the roots. We've flipping the ship. The stars are the seas are the stars. We're spinning it around like the hieroglyphs in Gosford. We're flipping the ship. And now we're changing what space means. And now we're seeing the space between myself and the camera, to the space from me to a whale, to Todd, to he said the 12th dimension. This is what our children always say to us. How come they only talk of 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, and these beings are coming through saying we're 75th dimension or something? how does that work? Because no one else is saying it. I said, well, don't worry what anyone else is saying. What are they saying? I want to know what they're saying. I don't care what everyone else is saying. Tell me what they're saying, because you're tapping into it. Why are you tapping into it? Is it to scare others? No. You're tapping into it because in some way we're connected to all of them. So now, are you seeing? This is the matrix. This is we're reversing the spin on it. And the matrix, like Todd said, isn't bad. Our ego is not bad. It's now a tool. It's a tool that we understand and we use. It's the sickle, it's the hammer, it's the shovel. It's what we need now for this reverse spin. And this, if we didn't have this spin, we wouldn't have evolved. Do I like things that have happened? Not necessarily, but I use them as a tool and a gift now. And I've experienced it. I understand it. I still cry, but that's okay. So, thanks, guys. Thank you. Because, yeah, we're just now lifting the sea, and then we get to create little waves. So we get to wave back now, and enjoy it. Everyone I'm speaking to has ease and grace. It's not how they would have seen ease and grace previously, but they're seeing ease and grace through new light. They're seeing love in a new light now. And this is ascension. That's what expansion is seeing light in new ways. And that's what we're doing. I love you guys. I love all these people that are contacting us through the internet. They share with me their difficulties, and I see them and I don't see it. I see this new light in them. And I thank them when I see them, because it's lighting me up more too.
The softness of the divine feminine that came in when it wasn't soft before is what's changing all of these experiences. It wasn't soft before. It was endurance, strength, pretend that you're not weak, hide, try to blend in, be strong, don't look frail. And it turned soft. And when she turned soft, the true form of Mother Mary was able to be accessible, and therefore the higher frequencies. You know, there's an in-between place that if you can't get to that spot, then the frequencies don't do good. It's almost not harmful. It just doesn't help. And now it can. Now we are. And so it can. That's what's changed. And so what's really, it's so fun to listen to you two talk. Like, you're just basically telling me, helping me understand a little bit more and more every the past few days. It's only been a week since we've talked. You guys realize that? It's only been a single week.
And Mother Mary came in on that talk. She stood right next to me.
That's right.
In an apparition, remember? And she stuck that thing in my temple on the left side, the feminine side.
Wow.
And no,
it's funny.
It seemed like a week.
No, it seems like 2 months, right? Because the kids said it's Thursday again. We have to put the bins out. I'm like, really? Didn't we just do that? And then I thought back to last Thursday, and all this.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm watching it too.
Was there something going on? Because it felt like something just like came at me.
Well, your screen is changing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I felt like both sides coming in.
I'd love to share. I'd love to share a story if I can. Yeah, it's just I don't know. Hopefully, I'll condense it. So we had the last soulology, and it's always Jerry. Jerry comes up and goes, our family get up really early. And because Richard and I are up really early as well. So we're up at like 2 a.m. The kids get up at like 4 or 5 and they do go and make breakfast and a gym workout. Anyway, Jerry's the gym's like in the end of the house in the garage. And she said, I'm kind of getting over him. Okay, getting over who? And she said, the shadow one that's at the window. He's been doing it since we've lived here. I'm putting up with him for a year. It's time you need to speak with him. No, what? Why? So you just been keeping him to yourself? And she goes, well, I forget, and I do my workout by the time I'm finished. I was like, okay, so what's he doing? And she says, he's only on this side of the property. And then Jet walks, this is our household, right? So it's like a freeway. Jet walks past on his way to getting ready for work. He says, oh yeah, I see him all the time too. He's kind of irritating. He freaks me out a little bit. And I'm like, what? Hang on, so now you're seeing the same one? He goes, yeah. And at first we were really scared, but now we're kind of used to him. And I was like, okay. So it's definitely like a male. And I went, yeah, definitely a male. And his shadow gets bigger and smaller depending on the family member. So then someone else walks by to make some breakfast, kind of like what you can probably hear in the background at the moment. And they're having him. Yeah, he's on. So Gemma has a yurt. She sleeps out in like a teepee. And she says, yeah, I hear him on the trampoline next to the teepee. He jumps up and down. I can hear the springs. And she said, I put my head out and I can feel him. She says, I can't see him, but I can feel him through the night. And she said, it freaked her out, but now she's used to it. So now I've got 3 or 4 kids telling me about this shadow being. So I asked who it is, and they all said the same thing. It's like a lost soul. I said, well, so how long are we talking here? And they all came up with like 200, I think like 182 came up like years. And I went, you think he's scary? Imagine what you guys look like to him. I said, you're on a gym equipment, you're on your phone. And so all of them start laughing because they think, oh yeah, we would look really weird, the things we're doing. Like we're talking to people on phones, we've got voices coming from a phone. So he's probably thinking they're ghosts. So imagine being a lost soul and you just popping in and out and seeing this, you would feel like you're loopy, right? You're crazy. So your energy would come across rattled, because this is lands you don't understand. You never walked these lands, but you're kind of stuck here. So you would be very confused. I started to realize that where we live used to be the old route up and down the coast of the east coast of Australia, this road we live on. And then I started to realize these accidents that happen where ghosts are, it's this energy is stuck there. And we've done clearings on places where there's a lot of accidents and we knew there were hauntings, and now there's no more accidents there. Is it a coinkydink? Maybe. Does the energy feel different? Yes. Do we have ringing in our ear when we go past these spots? No, it's stopped. And so it's not just our bodies and the animals that are getting rattled by what's going on. I feel like the rising's coming up. So you know how you always hear the zombies are coming back, they're rising up. Well, I feel like they're rising up with us, and it's not to scare us. They're feeling as confused with their energies as we are. So we do a clearing. It's nothing big, let me tell you. All we do is put a candle out and all of us feel the same thing. We just say, we've acknowledged you. We appreciate you. Thanks for showing up. You're okay. You're just stuck a little. Go back this way. We're just giving them a pointer, a wave, The next day, I'm out digging. I look above this spot where the kids said they saw, and there's a big angel and a small angel in the clouds in the sky, and I took a photo. It wanted me to take a photo. It gave me time to go inside, get the phone, and come back out and take a photo. So I went, wow, you really want me to record this? The next day, I'm in a session. The same angels are behind this lady, exactly the same height. And I'm just hearing Todd's stories and going, so we've gone from ghosts to angels. And they're feeling it too. So if you're feeling rattled and unsure, maybe it's not your energy that you're feeling. Maybe you're just tapping into the energies of the rocks or the crystals or the fairies. Maybe maybe it's not yours to wear. Maybe you're just tapping into your old DNA lines or your other incarnations. Maybe you're just tapping into that. And by understanding it, it's not your cloak to wear anymore. It becomes lighter.
Yes. And the fact that you all have been saying bridges so much, I have to comment. I hope you don't mind. Is so I've established a pattern that, because there's everything's patterns. I don't know. This is the second month in a row where I was met by beings on the first of the month. And this time there were 9 of them. It's a whole story. But the scoop of it is that I was then shown this stuff about ribbons and energy and the way that it's supposed to circle and weave to become this tube-like tunneling bridge through the cosmos that helps the energy and stuff. What's really cool is as I was writing it down, and I realized that this is the same visual that Mother Mary had showed Todd. It was like it had this DNA kind of it was energy though, and it was I understood that we'd been trying to make energy be because everything, this is all this time right now, what we're going between places, right? We're in between places. And so that's why it's all about bridges and what energy looks like and limitation, right? And so we understand what limitation is, then we can release limitation, right? And so can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we release limitation by, for instance, limitation, saying this creates limitation. Assigning words to this experience creates limitation. So there are some limitations that in order for us to, because, we are all the same hand, we're just finger puppets. Like this is Elsa, this is Pamela, this is whatever, right? And so while we did figure this out, it's about this bridge place and this weaving of this and allowing. So we'd all been saying that, okay, we got to put everything's orb, everything's a spherical, and that itself is limitation too. So we've been trying to make everybody be a ball, and by doing that, it created independence, individual separatism, separation, and I find this to be so groundbreaking because I always thought that spirit, that this energy is meant to be, if it's not orb, if it's not spherical, then it was like banishment time. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry. I think that both of you seem like you had some input. I'll be quiet again.
Well, I've never thought of this before because puppets have come up in conversations with Pamela and I, and she said puppets, and they went small. So small, puppy is small gods, ET. So puppets are small gods. I laugh. I seriously just laugh at the language, and I laugh and I laugh and I laugh now. Things that, like you said, contained us now are my entertainment. And I feel this ease and grace more and more and more with the language because I realize I guess I'm laughing at how contained I was. And
Yeah.
I I am a container, but not of this. I'm a container of this. And I understand that now. I don't always understand it, and sometimes I do forget. But we're just little puppets playing the show.
Yeah.
And
Finger puppets.
finger puppets.
Finger
Yeah.
puppets.
Yeah.
Okay. So two things, because it's whatever came in, whatever's come in here is, I would describe it like a, okay. So I was going to say, I would describe it like an orb, right? Like what's behind you, Pamela, like that, except for it didn't come from anywhere. It was here. It's me. It's the mother and it's the father, right? And they're screaming at me because I think we're hitting pay dirt. So one thing quick too, because I feel like that this is where it's going. It's what I'm getting. The children. This boy, 7, Mindy, and Randy's star child. Amanda Bloodworth's rainbow child, who'll be at the Soldier Fest. Maddie. And if you looked at the second part of the gathering that we had on the 30th, these young people came up, right? These young people came up onto the stage. Now you had these 2 first waiver healers, Sacred Union couple, the Purcells, perform healing, real fucking healing. Okay, because I was a recipient and I've been through a lot of things and I know truth. And when it's in your body, I mean, what happened to me that night happened, period. Serena, Ty's partner, Serena, had met them 7 years earlier, didn't know that they were going to be there. Hadn't been in contact with them, hadn't seen them. Ran into them 7 years ago. She had arthritic condition throughout her whole body. And they healed her in one day. The 3 of them. Obviously, the recipient is part of it or does it or however that works. My point is that these people had a certain band of frequencies that was the exact same frequencies as these young people that took the stage. And when these young people started to collaborate and sing and improvise, freestyle, they were sending out the same signal. It was, I saw it. I saw the geometry of it. It was the exact same thing, 2 different things on the superficial, right?
Yeah.
So my daughter stayed overnight. She didn't want to. And I was tired and I didn't really want to do the father-daughter thing, you know, if it was going to be the normal thing. It's not, and Izzy's grown tremendously. I've grown tremendously. But it was one of those things that had to happen. So we ended up talking for 3 or 4 hours. And during that time, I turned off the father and I just listened like I never had before because she was talking like she never had before. And the information that was coming out of her mouth, both individually, family reflections, and collective coding, data, prophecy, was fucking remarkable. And for the first, and this was part of connecting the dots, that our thoughts create the programs, that our judgment creates the program, just what you were saying a while ago. I removed it, or it was removed, which allowed her to express from the soul. And I realized that they're all saying this, all the young people are saying this, and we're inhibiting it because we're judging it, because I'm the father, or because they're young and they don't know. They have it. They got it. They got it. They're right. There's more than 5D. This is way bigger than 5D. Okay. So that was that's the big message. That's the message I feel like that this trio has brought forth to hand off. We're going to get young people on this channel. We're going to get them on this channel, and we're going to put them front and center, because they are the ones that carry that frequency. And it's not going to come through channels that we're familiar with or as familiar with. We give them this birth, and we give them this passage. It's meant to be. And I've been told this 12 years ago, and now I really see it in this moment. So this is what's great. Somebody said, this is why I watch this channel. Well, this is why I do this, because these moments come, and they always come live. Yeah. So the other thing that I'm telling me, or the you, me, we, and it, or however this works, and this is a little, probably, I want to make sure that I get this right, because it's going to sound, possibly, no, it won't, because here we go again with the judgment. The judgment creates the programs. If you're talking about betrayal, if you're talking about the lies of the government, if you're talking about the fuckery, if you're talking about any of this stuff, I am instigating, perpetuating the program. There is no there are no lies. There are no betrayals. There are no victims and victimizers. This is it. And what Elsa talks about, the language. Look at the clues. Liver. Look at the clues. The young people are carrying this message. They're already going against the grain. They're doing what they want to do. My other daughter says to me, I do what I want to do. Well, I've always understood that since she was 11 years old. Well, she's not saying that out of arrogance. She's saying that from the soul. So if we're thinking about any of that stuff, if we're talking about it, this is what I'm getting. If we're talking about it, we're perpetuating it. We're swimming in it. The deceit, the betrayals, the injuries, the whole 9 yards. Elfie went in, and they said, you have cancer. No, I don't. Elsa says, no, I don't. That's all it is. And we got a million voices out there that we have created. These are these ghosts. These are the ghosts that are stuck, the residual energy that's stuck. It's the one that's going, wait a minute, I got hurt. Wait a minute, I'm stuck on the grid.
Yeah.
And then I love what you said, because this is what I was just looking for it in what I wrote last night. And it said, and I took it out because I'm making a song, right? But it was like this. It was like, okay. I founded lessons in the coldest realm, dark skies. And I put wanna being, it's a play on words, but it was like this. It was, they just want to be loved like the boldest lights, hell's heavens, hell, Mother Nature's grace. We've called the ancient ones, everyone's golden truth. So what you said, or one of you said about, it was Elsa, this residual energy, it's us. It's all us. Right? There's a reason that your family is around this energy. And all it takes, we're all talking about breaking the cycle, and we're the black sheep that got put into the family and all this stuff, right? That's all it takes. Gigi, I love you. I see you. Hi. That's it. I see you. And I think that's what's happening. And I think this is what's going to be mind-blowing, is that these people, or us, are going to look at other people and go, we're already doing it. We've been doing it. I see you. Why do you think there's such a magnetization? Oh my God, is this romance? Is this kindredness? It's all of it. It's every bit of it. But in fact, we don't even have to try to figure it out, because it's figured out for us.
Exactly.
Who are you supposed to live with? Who are you supposed to sleep with? Who are you supposed to play with? Who are you supposed to work with? It's all right there. We don't have to force anything. But here we go. And this is I'm getting off this soapbox, but I'm telling you, I'm hearing, if you talk about it, you got no one to point the finger at. It doesn't matter what your story is. If you want to talk about the government and you want to talk about a voter fraud, you want to talk about the impeachments, you want to talk about who's right, who's wrong. That's the grid. That's the old grid. And it really is turning from it. It's detaching from it. It's cutting it off 100%. And that's where I see the Sology thing, which is a replica of one of many that's a bridge that's saying, okay, folks, so this is an example, metaphorically speaking. You've got these free shows. We're going to put them out here, free by the terms of the Matrix. Now think about this contrast. Think about this. Oh, well, Facebook's free. Facebook's free. Why would you charge? Well, you're looking at it from the eyes of the old Matrix, and they got you fucking duped. You're going to tell me, any of us here, that Facebook is free? You're going to tell me that it's free? You're going to tell me that it's an equitable exchange? You're going to tell me that it wasn't premeditated with ill intention? But that's the Matrix. That's what we designed. YouTube the same way.
Yeah.
Now you have this little bitty island over here called Sology Network, and you have this monstrosity over here that has 1 billion people on it that's free. Okay? And we all can show our ass over here because we all have. Right? We've all put up a persona. We've all struggled to find our truth and really talk about a mirror. Right? And then over here you have this little bitty island with numerically far fewer people, right? 500,000 people, 500 to 1,000 over here. Yet this energy blows that away. You know, so what I'm trying to say is, now that's an example. That's just an example. It can be driver's license, it can be passports, it can be following unlawful laws. It can be doing things like, and that's what I keep saying, car insurance, life insurance. Well, you got to have life insurance. I had this conversation with my mother. What do you need to take out a policy or something? Because it would be irresponsible for you to die and someone's got to pay for it. Now, this is my mother, and it's been very public, and I am in unity consciousness with my mother. I understand her words, but they're coming from the old grid.
Yeah.
And I will be goddamned if I'm going to pay to leave this place. You can kiss my soul's immaculate ass. I came in free, I'm leaving free. Right? And so what I'm trying to say is, we are being put into a situation here. More and more people are being touched. And I am absolutely 100% that the way it happens is through open exchanges that normally happen between 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, a small group of people.
Yeah.
Every conversation that we can put out here, every kid that we can put on this screen, everyone that we can pull together at a Sology Fest or a gathering, the code exchange is extraordinary. It pulses out into the new grid. And so this atmosphere, which is aided by the fact that we're not speaking about the untruths, the lies, the fucking shadows, the things that were done to me or done to somebody else. That's the old grid. And if you're talking about it, you're there. And that's not a judgment. That's just a fact. And I don't know anybody here that wants to be there.
Right.
So how do you be here? Let that shit go, homie. Right. So what's happening is we're being supported and we're being supported when we walk as the new earth, as the 5D plus the 12D, the whole 9 yards. When we do that, incredible things start happening. A lady sends me a note this morning, and you know, you got to understand something. in this new environment, starting a network, okay, planning a Soulology Fest. If I was wearing the glasses or the lenses from the old, I wouldn't be here right now. The rest of my hair would be gone, and I'd probably be back on the street saying, "Fuck this shit. I'm just going to get drunk every day, and I'll go out in a blaze of glory," you know. But I'm not. I'm wearing the new lenses, and just like how am I going to pay the rent? Somebody hands me to exactly what I need. Okay, but it's why is that happening? Because of what we're doing, right? So this lady, beautiful lady, I've seen her for years, never talked to her. Send me a couple of nice messages, over the years. And she says, "Hey, I don't think there's anything to hide. In fact, I know there's not. And that's the key. That's the key." So she sends me a note. She says, "Hi, Todd." That's all it said. I said, "Hi, I just happen to be there." Because, I can't do every message, but I saw it pop up. Oh, it's Luce. I won't say her name, but it's my friend, right? I've seen her name for years. "Hi." Doesn't answer. I said, "How are you?" "I'm really good. I just bought a Soulology Fest ticket, and I'm coming from Montreal. But I don't understand why it charged me an extra $100 or extra $90. And I said, well, I knew what it was because the early bird thing expired on the 30th. So I said to her, this lady, I didn't look it up, but I mean, I know this lady sent 1111 50 times over the years. And I also recognize that we're creating this new integrity, this new equal energy exchange, and you've got to honor everything. And, Soulology Fest costs money and such. But just on a whim, and maybe it was an old program, I don't know. I said, "You know what? I'm gonna call her, and I'll give her the $90 because maybe she didn't understand the early bird was over, right? Whatever." So I call her on the phone, and she answers the phone in this French Canadian voice, right? It's beautiful. And I said, "Hey, I know this other lady from over there. She's a sister. She's drinking the same Kool-Aid, and she's right there. She talks the same way you do. I'll introduce you to her." She's like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And I said, "Now here's what I'm going to do. You've been, it just feel like I need to do this, and I'll give you the 90 back because maybe." She goes, No. I just thought about it. She said, "I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know where I'm going to stay. But you came in my dream a couple of days ago, and all you said to me was artist, artist, artist." She said, "And I'm an artist." And so the nonverbal came through as, I got to go to Soulology Fest. I need to be, quote unquote, I need to be with my Soulology family. And she said, and she's basically saying, "I don't even know if I'm going to make it, but keep all that money for the Soulology Fest." Right? Gratitude, thank you, universe, right? I mean, so what I'm trying to say is that every time, and I just lived this, okay? I just freaking lived this, all right? It like at warp speed. Every time we take a step forward, and there's no fear. And Nicole Menchaca and I couldn't do the show yesterday, Lighthouse with Nicole. And I said, "Why don't we do one together? Because we're going to be moving off social media, and it's all going to be on the network now. Why don't we do, so what's the topic for this week?" She said, "Fear." I said, "I'm in. Let's do it. Can I join you?" She said, "Yeah." "You want to join me for 10 minutes for the whole show?" "Fine." It's the whole show. Let's do it. But every time we step forward and we are not entangled with fear, victim consciousness, it's not that there's no excuse. It's there if you want it. And here's the thing. Every time you do it, it shows itself immediately.
Yeah.
It freaking shows us immediately. Last thing, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write, right? After I took my walk, I told you, I stopped by this place, I get what I want, walk out on the patio, and it came like a flash, and it wasn't words. It was just this, I can't even say it was a picture. It was color, it was geometry, it was all these things in one. It was that, whatever that is, right? It was that spark of creation. So my friend, my dear friend, sends me a picture this morning of the sun. That's it, the sun. But in the sun was everything that I saw, that started, that opened the door to all these downloads as a result of me getting the download that, hey, you're right where you're supposed to be. It's the judgment that creates the programs. Oh,
Yeah.
turn off, boom, click the button, I'm off. Downloads come in, specific talent or whatever attribute comes in, and I'm writing like I'm, the Shakespearean Einstein of writing or something. It's, just like it's crazy. So I would encourage everybody to examine every single thing that comes in the door, moment by moment. Where's the fear? Is there fear? Why am I holding back? And I'm sorry, car insurance, taxes, I don't give a fuck what it is. Excuse my French. Okay. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's an ex. I don't care if it's problem with your mother. Well, my mother's different. My mother's darker than the dark. Or my father did this. I don't care.
Yeah.
My father, 6 years ago, violated the worst violation ever. But that's not the thing. It's just information. It's just another version of something that however you want to put it, controlled us or held us back or whatever you want to call it. But that's it. I have no judgment of that. I don't see it as anybody that we are not in equilibrium has nothing to do with them anymore. It's all about us.
Yeah.
That's it. People are a great way to proceed through here, but seriously, pick up the phone, make the phone call, say I love you. Even if it doesn't equal things out, at least it gets you in that direction. And the universe is responding and reciprocating immediately. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And especially where you have two or more, especially when one of those or more is a child. And when I say child, I'm talking about anything from the womb that's communicating already to Elsa's children's ages, my children's ages. They're here to lead the way. Okay, you got it back now. Y'all got it back.
I want to show you when you first mentioned the kiddos, she just came in and slipped this on my desk. So that was my kiddo. You knew what she was like, as if she knew you were talking about her. And she just kind of like,
she did. I hope she didn't hear me cursing.
Oh, dude, she knows those words. She just doesn't use them. The only reason why she doesn't use them, by the way, is because that prevents other parents from letting her hang out with their kids. Like otherwise, they're words. They don't like turtle could be a bad word if you decide it. You know what I mean?
Turtle.
But I don't know, some random word, right? I have so much to say. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to go on too long.
We got plenty of time. It's our last spotlight show for the Trinity on social media. The rest of them are going to be 1 in 4 will be free to the public, and I'll keep coming out and saying this over the next few days. 1 in 4 of all of our shows will be free to the public, but you got to go to the Soulsy Network. You don't have to subscribe. You'll get to watch 1 in 4 free. And then if you can subscribe, then that's up to you. Go ahead. We have all the time we need.
And registering is different than subscribing to this channel, isn't that right?
That's right. So you will go in and you register name, password, and email. You get an email verification like you do with any other site, and you can now access the public page, which is going to look a whole lot different in a week. Okay, because there'll be a constant stream of those excerpts I've been talking about. And then you'll be able to go in, as you can now. You can actually go into the site now and see everything. You just can't, you'll see locks on the videos. So 1 in 4 of those videos, and we'll get with the producers, which shows do you want to make free? And 1 in 4 will make free so people can watch it. So we'll have 25% free material. But yeah, so registering is one thing, subscribing is another thing. That's it.
It's useful to know. That's been a question that's been pretty common that I've had from people. There's so much to say. To start, where do we start? So first of all, yes, the left hand and also the ring finger specifically. I've always done this since I was little. Like this is the one you can trust the most. It's like energy wise, it feels the higher frequencies before the other fingers do. And it's just something that's really fascinating about hands. There's so much to hands. There's just so much to hands. Anyway, I won't go there because that's just a big topic. So we are building bridges. And as we build this, oh my gosh, where do I start? I'm so sorry. You said so much, Todd. That was a beautiful, okay. So the sun, we figured out the sun is us, right? That was something that we had done. And then we also realized that the core is us. And so with those two, we are realizing that we were actually like a binary star system, right? Instead of like this energy that's just kind of in flux. And so that's what led us to be able to find the path, these bridges, these, they were called a certain thing. And I can't remember. Anyway, these rainbow bridges are that's where what's restoring the connection to this higher frequency that's bringing us to the giants, right? And so we already knew about all that. Okay, now we're in October, and October was, remember this message, I was telling you guys about it in our chat, but I had emailed Todd about it in June. This is the month where we realize who we are. And so back then, the way that it was translated, because those are the words I knew how to use, was to say that we were all going to be getting activated with our Jesus aspect, right? And what does Jesus mean? Eternal love. You know, this is the truest connection to source. And this is the month that people are starting to figure out who they are. And some people are even saying who they are. What's cool about this? Well, I mean, obviously that's pretty neat. But then what's more is then we start to blinkily look around and realize that we're standing next to the other person who's that same aspect, who shares that aspect with you. And that's where this hand demonstration comes into the fullest effect, because we are all, many of us become one finger in that comparison of the finger puppets. You know what I mean? And once we find this, I would say that what Todd was talking about regarding our story, the bad guys, the good guys, someone owes me a debt due to a violation that had occurred, that you can't change any of your story. It just is, right? And so once we realize it just is, and that you no longer expect or require some type of balancing of scales, then you can remove yourself from this paradigm. And as you remove yourself from this paradigm, then you start to be able to reach this higher frequency. And in this higher frequency state, then our memory begins to come back. Elsa was talking about this memory thing, and this whole thing, it's become a real big story. I did a random live with another person yesterday just to talk about some of these codes. But I'm so sorry that I'm so discombobulated. I think I'm not able to finish a sentence. Maybe I should try to okay, so realizing our higher aspect and being able to say it out loud due to this conditioning having to do with not being a good person. If you say that you're awesome, this is a conditioning that most of us have, this self-worth. I can't be powerful type of words, you know, it's not possible to be something amazing and someone important. Like, I know for me, I probably put half of my effort into anything that I do is put into diminishing my importance. You know, it's not that I'm doing it on purpose either. It's just a natural or conditioned thing. And this all of this realization has come to an understanding and circling when my daughter has come to me and she's explained some of this stuff. You know what she said to me? She said, "Did you know that little kids now, when we jump, we can hover?" And I was like, this is something that, and she's the way that she said it. And I was like, "Are you a little kid?" She's 9. And I said, "Are you a little kid?" She's like, "I'm a big kid that can still access little kid." And so I was like, all right, and so what she's trying to show us is that these children don't have any of the programming that diminish self. They don't have any of the shame that stops them from reaching those frequencies that are natural to them. And so if we can follow this example, then it becomes easy. All things are easy now, guys. All we got to do is let go of the blame and shame and guilt. And you're the bad guy, I'm the good guy. You did this, I did that. I was sex trafficked for 14 years. All right. And I'm over it. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that happens in this world that sucks. But you know what? The sucky parts, once you get through them, you find out that they're the gold. I got so much from those experiences in my life. I was given the opportunity to not be in a public school situation, so I was never vaccinated. I was not conditioned the way that people socially interact with one another. So I tell the truth and it pisses people off. Like there are certain things, like I wasn't told that there was something weird about out of body experiences. We called it out of body instead of astral back then. We just did it. And so I was kind of an experiment, and those things helped me. Like, we didn't have social security numbers until they put me into public school, and they're like, "We need to give you shots and medication, and because you're going to be depressed, we know you are, so have all this medication and all this stuff." And that was the indoctrination into the system. The point is listen to these children. They use words still called imagination, pretend, but that's not what they really mean. There's a thing that happens around between the 5 and 7 year mark of a child's life that's called pruning. And this occurs, pruning means forgetting childhood, lack of access to these spiritual abilities and things like that. This occurs during this window of time because that's the initiation into the school system. That's the clearest marker. It could have to do with one specific thing regarding the school system: vaccination, peer pressure, social, teacher, whatever. But for some reason, all of a sudden, this is when children no longer are allowed to exist in the spirit realm and previously. And so a lot of us realizing right now, as I talk to so many people in these sessions, they're remembering their gifts from when they'd be in this earlier stages of their life. It's showing you that you have it. You do talk to fairies. You do commune with higher beings of light regularly, questioning your experiences and saying, "I can't be that." My big thing is I'm having Mother Mary coming in all the time. And there's like this ego thing of like, no, dude, like, I am so flawed. Like, she's got to go to Elsa, like, go somewhere more normal. Like, I'm a broken person, but not really, you know what I mean? But like, I got, and so it's just, it's being allowing the energy to be and to not use that judgment. I went on a bit more of a tangent into a little bit more personal than I meant to. I'm sorry. So anyway, lastly, I wanted to add really quickly, I was diagnosed with the last stages of systemic scleroderma in 2007. I was supposed to be dead years ago, supposedly. And I was like, that's bullshit. They wanted to, do all kinds of different medications and procedures and stuff. And I wasn't going to participate because I didn't believe them. I wouldn't. And yeah, I had some pretty profound, amazing alterations in mind and body during that series of years. But this is, years later, I'm here, and it turns out a lot of those things that I was experiencing was a accelerated version of what we talk about when we call ascension symptoms. So it's kind of fascinating how our body recalibrates. Anyway, I'm back in Thank you. Sorry, I'm so out of it today.
You're fine. Everything's fine. You're great. Elsa.
Which she just coded me up. So
I saw it. I watched it. I watched it happen.
I had to write
She's-
it down because she's so fast. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've just filled 2 pages. I'm not going to do 2 pages to you, so don't worry. But I am going to, it's her fault. I'm just playing with you. Let us allow path in us. The reason I'm being, you said let us, but I'm going let us. Okay. The kids came in and said, do you know how good lettuce is? It's an aphrodisiac. So she's coded me up from the angels. She's got Mother Mary around her. I'm going to take all that energy and say, thank you, Pamela. Lettuce. Anything that's leafy green, eat that now. Whether it's parsley, anything that resembles lettuce. This is what they call salad in Australia. So I don't know terminologies around the world. Some people call it rocket. All the leaf. It's basically a leafy green. Let us. Allow path in us. These words are not made up. They are deliberate language. They know that this holds a great key for us, this let us. So that was Jesus is, there's many terms of Jesus. I know it's been grouped up, but this version is yes, all. Delete. Todd brings up delete. I love delete. Delete's my favorite thing ever since coming on social media. I go, no, delete, delete. You don't like me, delete me. Don't send me a rude text. Don't put something on my social media because I'm just going to press the red button. Why? Delete is to, so to being allow path. So the delete button allows me to continue this experience's path. So this is a good word, delete. Awesome. Awesome is to shine in all. We are all awesome. Whether you think someone's awesome or not, doesn't matter. You literally are awesome. That's how we came here. Otherwise, you wouldn't get here. Diminish. Diminish is a big one because diminish is, I really resonated when I heard this word. And because I had this word come to me as belittle, and then I realized who's talking to me. It's us. It's the stem. It's the sem. It's our origins. Diminish is too small, all. And we are all small. We are all belittle. We're all tiny when we look up at the stars. We're little ants. And this brings me to my topic, and I want to thank you all the audiences, is that you all helped me understand the Anu. And Anu is a new way. A new way. We talk of the Tao, we talk of the way. This is the new way. It's actually not a new way, but it's the old way, but it's a new version of it. And so you've heard me say anu. Well, anu is the way. And I wouldn't have worked all this out if I hadn't met everyone that I have. So thank you.
Why is it that you said this before? I think last time. When I hear you say that, I think of Anu, the god, Anunnaki. Everything's always upside down. Everything is always. Go ahead.
So anu is don't look at it as a word or a text. Look at it as a symbol. So it goes up, down,
Yeah.
up, down. One of it has a cross through it. One of the
Right.
crosses is it's actually a DNA. It's a DNA formula.
Yeah. So you have.
Yeah.
So
Anu.
it's like the
Yeah.
Roller
so,
coaster.
well,
yeah.
you know how
Roller
like when you,
coaster. Yes, serpent, dragon.
yeah,
Just keeps going.
like a heart monitor be
Yes. Yeah.
be
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm saying this, and I'm actually not looking at it as words, because you're the bridge there, right? That's what you do.
Mhm.
It's not just this word. When you've said that, that's what I think of, and I think, well, how appropriate is that? Because what's been the big, who's been the bad guy? Who's
Yeah.
been put forth in the narrative? Okay. And again, this is all the story of the grid. This is the story of the human experience. This is what we put ourselves into, right? And then to what Pamela, that nothing's good, nothing's bad kind of thing. But think about it. If our history by the players that we appointed has been massaged and deceitful and suppressed and promoted falsehood, do you really think that doesn't include the part of our story, from, let's just say, going back, to Tiamat, Orion Wars, the whole nine? It's not that they didn't happen. It's not. This is all part of our story. But again, those things. How can you? Because people say, "Oh, we got to speak the truth. We got to get the truth out there." Yeah, but you know what? We're at the point now where we don't have to get it all out there. You know why? Because we get to the same place, and the same place is, oh, this side and that side are one and the same. So it doesn't matter who played what role or who's right about what. I hear people say everyone's doing light language, and they're not doing it right. They've fucked it all up. Really? Who the fuck are you? Right? I feel the same way about Mother Mary. Every time I say an F-bomb, every time I have a cigarette, every time I take a shot of whiskey, right? I'm kidding. I'm being, I'm exaggerating, but you that presence, the mother's presence, is becoming more and more known, and you're like, whoa, do I deserve this? But you know what? Even when we go, I don't know about you, but it sounds like the same thing. I'm going, even if I say it, it doesn't hold water. It's like, oh, no, this is real. This is happening. This is happening. And that's just one part of it. See, I had this conversation over the last couple of days with two or three people. And again, I get riled up, and I can be, I can speak too fast. And so I miss some people, but I have a feeling that that's not the case either, with what's been changing. All of our connections, dragons, ETs, angels, elementals, it's all of us. It's all of us. Get over it.
Yeah.
Get over the wow. Get over it. The trauma, the activating connectivity to our past lives. I was the Queen of Sheba. I was the most beautiful woman in the world. I was a king. I was a pauper, whatever the case is. I was a galactic. I know I'm a higher dimensional being. If my mother's from the 22nd dimension, I know, but I've always known we all are. In this song I was writing, the ancient ones were called, but the ancient ones are everybody.
Yeah.
How can everybody come from the original one and somebody be more or less than somebody else. The only place that applies is in a particular incarnation because of the roles that we've chosen to play and because of perspective and judgment.
Yeah.
You know, oneness is oneness. And I can promise you, the closer we get to the light at the end of the tunnel, we're going to be going, put the brakes on, man. I don't want this to be over now that I know everything. Well, then maybe next time you'll listen to yourself a little earlier. This is what's happening. It's quantum and it's growing rapidly. But what I'm getting at here is that okay. Everybody has a light language. Everybody has a frequency. Everybody is a unique and equal aspect. Everybody has a lineage, and we share that lineage because there's a monad, and then it gets smaller and it gets smaller. One time we were an energy complex that contained every single one of these 8 billion people. Then it's split up into 2, and there's 4 over here and 4 over here. But guess what? If you're in this group over here, you experience everything in this group over here. So you know what I mean? It's all the same thing, right? So what I'm trying to say is this. In these conversations I had with these folks in the last 3 or 4 days, friends of mine, get over it. Were we lovers in a past life? Were we enemies in a past life? Yes, yes, yes to all of it. You know, was I a star? Am I a star? Yes, yes to all of it. What is the point? What do we do with it now? This is spirit flesh. I am a God. I am God. I walk out and have a timeline shift, and I'm being treated like a king. How does that happen at 4 different places? Okay, so everyone's having these experiences, right? So what do we do with it? We do with it is we do it here. We do it now with every conversation, with every thought, word, and action, with everything that we do, everything that we collaborate and co-create with. It's Elsa Dillon and 2 of her beautiful daughters who have been on this trip together with the rest of their family for years. We're all sitting here going, I don't want the world to think I'm weird. I'm just stepping up now, 2018, 2019. They got a whole family.
Yeah.
An entire family, a 10-person contingent that's been, and so what's happening now? She comes out a year and a half ago, pokes her head out like many of us have done, says, okay, it's time, and gets past the human, right? And then the trigger. I'm coming to Soulgy Fest.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm coming to Soulgy Fest. No, I don't have a brain tumor. Yes, I'm going to Soulgy Fest. And guess what? I'm bringing some people with me. And game on, right? So this is it. Yeah, we can do rituals, and yeah, we all have different things that surface in our delivery of our expression and our service. But one thing seems to be absolutely turned on, and that is, we might call it belief. I call it faith. The transitive verb, trust, believe, right? It's a motion. It's not a noun. And there's no word to describe it. But what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? Right? It's real simple. That is the alignment. It's the body, mind, soul. It's taking the action, and in the action taken, without judgment. Because if it's without judgment, there's no programming.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I have a collaborator, I have 2 here right with me right now. Right? We hold hands and we step forward together. See, this is the wildest part to me, because the present moment is the holy darkness, because you don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
You don't know. So we can either, be pushed, or we can say, oh, someone made that choice for me. The government said pay taxes. So they're going to protect me. We have a funeral director. Really? Well, I don't know about y'all, but I remember lives when we would take the body, we would honor the body, we would stick it on a funeral pyre and light it.
Right.
Did we pay the people to do that? No, it was an honor to do it. No, so it's not just you can't just detach from 99.99% of the grid. It's 100%. And this is where we're at. And I believe this is what 2024 will be. And I believe that this is what the children are bringing to the table. If we will get the F out of the way and stop acting like, because really think about it. As a parent, again, remember, this was a realm that we created. We could go to any number of other realms. Do you think there's the same kind of relationship? I don't know about you, but I've had dimensional experiences where we're the weirdest looking things I've ever seen. I don't even know what the hell they are. You're just like this weird thing with these 200-foot long arms, and you look like a robot, there's a whole, but you know what I mean? So if we say, I'm a parent, okay, what's the difference? I'm your parent. I know better. What does that mean? I am better. You're not what I am. What's the difference between that and the government? Right. We know better. We have to protect you. Fuck you. Okay. With love. It was all big play. But here's what I'm saying. This is it. In these bodies, this is the demonstration. Not can I channel? Can I travel astrally? Can I bilocate? Can I do telekinesis? Oh, I have telepathy and intuition. Oh, wow, we did it at the same time. How cool is that? Yeah. Get used to it. This is our natural nature. So what do? We do it in the flesh. Look, I've seen aspects come in my room and walk through the wall.
Yeah.
I want to walk through the wall. I'm walking through this wall. Okay. I'm going to physically transport my body, and I don't need any tech, and I don't need a med bed, because I have seen too many people, two right in front of me, that officially, validly healed themselves based on somebody else's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you didn't look at it the same way, but it's happened. It's real. It's here. It's so this is our chance. This is where we defy. This is where we say this. My friend Lucy says, I'm coming to the Soulology Fest. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I bought the ticket. And that's about the 5th person I've heard say that. And that's just this year. Last year, I heard a whole bunch of them. I don't have the money. I can't go, but I keep being told, you're going. Hey, this voice is just going to get louder and louder, and it's going to get louder and louder the more we collaborate, co-create, and come together.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be Soulology, but I just experienced it. And anyway, point is, and I had this conversation with a dear friend, and I said a couple of days ago, and I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this. It's full bore. And I'll either die trying, which is an oxymoron, or else, because I can see it now. They can't touch us. They, that's us. Well, it's not they. It's just the old matrix. What do they have on you? What does it have on you? It has nothing on you. Nothing. Yeah. But if you pick up the paper and if you buy into this, well, we know that drill. Good to you, man. If that's what I want to do, if that's what you want to do, then let's do it. But I'm not interested in that, because you know what? That is the known. And I realize now that the light we talk about, which is the darkness we've been standing in all along, okay, is the present moment, is the holiest of the holy darkness. It is, and we are that, everything that we touch, remember the thing about, where did this come up? Was it the other day? The light coming from the fingertips.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about it, the three of us, but it was coming from the fingertips. That's what I see. It's like us. We're the flashlight.
Yeah.
And we create. That's what brings us by what we create. Did
we have that conversation, or did we simultaneously have it? I had it happen outside, but I was alone.
Yeah. Well, I had it happen to me last week. I thought we talked about it on the show.
I don't remember.
But this, I'm not. I came back here knowing that I don't know how to explain it, but like knowing that everything's coming together. There's no question. Nothing to worry about. It's not even like that. It's like this is going to roll. This is rolling now. And the minute I woke up this morning, 100,000 million%.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I woke up and I was like, was that all a dream?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, am I actually, is this going on here? And then to go to the juice place, I don't think I finished with that one. I went to the juice place. I pull up my mom's car and I look through the window and I'm like, what the hell is that? I go to this place 5-6 days a week. I walk in, everybody says, hey, Todd, what's happening? I walk in, I said, is it even open? I open the door. There's 3 people in there I've never seen before. And the place looks like a whole different place.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't look like the same place. It was crazy. And I'm thinking, what the hell? I'm looking at the menu going, is this the same menu? I can't even find the thing I ordered, right? So something's really shifted, and I don't see how we can go back.
No.
And I mean, they say, well, if you're going to go talk to this person and they're on the grid, they're stuck on the grid, you've got to go into that frequency to do it. Well, I have to sit with that because I suppose if I'm guided to do that, I will, but I've got no interest other than to put pieces on the bridge. And I don't really see it like that. I see it as the bridge. I'm on the bridge. I'm not over there. I'm on the bridge. And I'm standing here going like this, just like people did for me, So anyway, that's it for me. I think we got about 15 minutes or so.
Can I just say a couple? So we got lettuce from Pamela to support us through this, meaning eat this to support your body through these phases right now. Then you have the word fear. Fear is a big one because I have to check in on my fear as well. So you're checking in on your fear and your doubt all the time because this is your ego and this is your tool. Fear and doubt is your tool. So use it as a tool. The reason it is a tool is because fear is that gold. Fear origins is that gold or yes gold. So when you hear the word fear, now you will be triggered to understand that it's your tool. And when you have doubt, it's two being path. So again, it's a tool now. So doubt and fear, you feel that coming over you and you can hear it. That means then you got Odin's crows happening because you're seeing it. You're feeling this fear and doubt. Now you know it's your toolbox. That's it. Get the toolbox. It's full of gold and use it now. And have some lettuce to support it.
Well, rabbits are fear, and fear they eat lettuce.
I knew the rabbit would come up today. I just knew. I had to sneak him in the end. But this is it sounds really playful and it sounds silly, but this is there's no rules. There are no rules to this.
Thank you. I have some more to input too, but I'm going to try to keep it down really quickly. So first of all, removing your consent or investment to these stories one at a time is like removing fibers. That's what it looks like. It looks like little microscopic hairs around your neural network. Just so you know, it's like a physical manifestation of energy too. So one thing at a time is how we do it. It's not like you're going to say, I'm leaving the matrix, right this second. It's one thing at a time. It's a very gradual thing. It's kind of, a process. Part of doing that is doing just what Todd has been doing his entire Soulology, it's saying me too. I got this shit going on too. Hey, I can make things happen too. Hey, I see these beings too. I have these crazy stories too that I was conditioned to believe made me sound like I was crazy or whatever. Speaking your truth, man. Like this is like the liberation. This is the time of this liberation, and the liberation can be had in places like this festival or in rooms, Zoom rooms or at coffee shops or, and just telling your truth. People will tell their truth on these comments, and that's opening the door for your ability to accept the possibility that, hey, maybe you don't suck. Maybe you're powerful. Guess what? God doesn't make anything that's garbage. You know what I mean? Second or third, I guess. October, we're here now. Okay. This is the month where we are going to be getting a lot more beings coming in. That's just what's happening for a lot of us. And this is what I want to say is they come in very gradually, depending on where you are with your interaction, the way that you, how much acceptance you have already enlisted. So for instance, if you just kind of only watch like the Hollywood movies and not really don't know much about this, they're not going to like be like, ding dong, hey, takeout, want to hang out? You know, they're not going to just show up. You know what I mean? And so it's going to be coming in really gradual. Some people have it where it's like animals, the manifestation of slightly peculiar looking animals or something like this. Just keeping this in mind. And so you're getting used to their frequency, right? And this is the coolest part about things like the Soulology Festival is that, so people talk about this, they use this word hug. What is a hug? Well, it's when we embrace each other in a physical way to express love. Guess what? Most people only hug for about 3 seconds. And this isn't a judgment, it's just a cultural thing that I've observed. And most men beat each other up on the back while they're doing it too. So that doesn't, however, you stay in this embrace for 20 seconds or more, that's when we do what we call the heart merge or the heart center merge, where we create the Vesica Pisces of healing. This is the most sacred shape in all sacred geometry, the Vesica Pisces. So when we do this embrace, or even, it doesn't even have like Todd mentioned, the three, that's actually what made me think of it. The three of us moving toward each other, because our heart center is very big. There's many, many layers of it. And when we do this, this begins a physiological response that can be noted through ultrasound, through medical means of watching the body recalibrate during embrace. It's not a derogatory thing to say, hugging for a long time. There's always that awkward time. And that's why I'm bringing this up. Last thing, I'm sorry, really quickly, is that in a hug, there's always that one person that goes, am I supposed to let go now? And so they'll jerk, and then the other person removes. And that's always before the 20-second mark. So if you can, in embrace for 20 seconds, or we count, she counts to 22 seconds. And something changes in your molecular structure. And so when we go to do this gathering, that's what I'm waiting to see happen, is all of these heart chakras merging. When we merge, we change ourselves in a long-lasting way on a molecular structure level. It's really cool. So thank you.
It's fun, right? So the other thing that's happened that I'll leave you with is that a lot of us saying, I don't know how this is going to happen. This is the dark. This is what Todd just said. So the Father has spoken. This is the dark. So we don't know how. And some people say, you know, I really want to do things with you. I need to do a session with you, but I don't have any money. And I said, that's fine. You know, it'll turn up when you need to do a session with me. It will turn up, and I can tell you, it happens. And this is what happens for us. So I don't have any qualms with anyone. I just know that as it's needed, it will turn up. And I actually am in preparation that it will happen because I believe it will. Mm-hmm. And if I'm able to heal a tumor and be here, and Pamela's able to be here, and these lovely women that Todd's talked, the German ladies, they're here, and Todd's mother's here. It's what you believe. Mm. It's what you believe. So I believe it's happening. If it's not, sometimes it's just not meant to happen that way, and it happens this way, and they're just leading you a little bit that way. So you might feel sometimes there's a few stops in the way. It's okay. It was just meant to go this way a little bit or this way a bit, but keep on that path. Because the word parent is do, being, path, and that's the Trinity. You need the two to make the creation, and then they start the three, and then they start the three, and then you have this beautiful star behind Pamela. That's one of us are in there, and another one of us are in there, and our parents are in there. We're all in that star. Star. It's the light. It's the soul. Can't argue with it. I'm not arguing with it.
Beautiful.
Can't argue with it. So we got 13 minutes.
More?
We're going to our last spotlight show, social media, for the Trinity show. We'll do this with all the shows. And then I'm getting a bunch of somebody opened up the gate. We already have like I think 37 people that want to do a show, that in addition to the ones that we have. And I think since I've been back since last night, I've counted probably 8 or 9 more. A couple of established people as well. They joined the network, annual membership, send me a note. Do you have room for another show? So it's coming. Now, again, this is a small mirror of what's happening on the earth. It's in a small orb. It's in there. As Elsa was saying, it's in there. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's really what it's showing me now, because that's what's so great about doing this show, and it's called the Trinity. You know, every one of these shows that they have a certain flavor to them, but this one seems to be an open. You know, you do this, Pamela, and you do this, Elsa. I've done it with y'all, but you do it with other people. I've done it occasionally with other people, and I have a lot of people ask me, "Hey, what? I don't want to go on camera with you,
Yeah.
You know, but let's have a conversation. Let's have a Zoom." And either it never happens or it does happen, but eventually what does happen is that we end up doing it in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because there's some value to this, especially now where there's 3. Because I did Soul Speaks, you know, for years, right? Thousands of shows, and it was normally 2 people. And having 3 or more is a different energy. It takes a different kind of thing. You become more of a moderator. But this is new energy. I can feel it. Like there's something about this. So for me, it brings in real-time transmissions. I'm closing my eyes a lot because I'm actually seeing things like I've never seen before. And I'm hearing things and I'm feeling things. And they're like, "Oh, I don't want to say that." "Oh, no, you need to say that." And then you're saying, you're going, "Oh, I'll get through this fast." No, we don't need to get through anything. Just take all the time in the world. But it's a special thing, I think, to recognize the moments. And the moment here is we got, you know, roughly 3-4 minutes apiece. Let's just go around the table. I'll start. What do I want to say on the last? It's not the end. It's an ending beginning. We're declaring, and I've got chills. We're making the transition. We're doing our part. You know, we're all like a team of horses. I was having this conversation with my mother on the way back yesterday. I said, "You know, I can feel that everything's got to be tightened up. It's not like you got to do this old world structure, and it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not on the producers. It's on me. Pull this together. It's happening naturally. It's unfolding naturally. Look at all the signs. Do you need any more proof? No, I don't need any proof. That's why I'm fucking jumping out of my skin."
Mm-hmm.
Calm down, Todd. How do you pull it together? How do you pull it together? I am the Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Trinity. So if I am the Trinity, then every collaboration I have, what can I bring to the table? I can bring the Trinity. And then what happens? We're perfect mirrors. And then it's all like she said, it's all in there. It's all in there. We're turning the lights on, you know, in this multidimensional prism. So what would I like to say? I just revere the journey. Every person, every step of the way, everything that we quote unquote have left behind, which we have not. We can recognize the transition. We're going from one environment to another by the choice, by the free will choice that we've been provided, the same free will choice that we had when we came down here. You know, We chose to come here. Nobody fooled us. Nobody played tricks on us. That was part of the narrative. That was part of the last 15,000 years. It was a patriarchal distortion. But what do you think the previous one was? It was a distorted matriarchal.
Mhm.
Okay. I've been visited by the Amazons. They were beautiful. They were 8 feet tall, and they were some of the most beautiful Nubian women I've ever seen, but they would have whooped my ass in no time, you know?
Yes.
So, you know, it's the bias, the biases that we have that identify the judgments that we contain that perpetuate the old that we're moving away from, and you can let go or be dragged. And I just want to say in this moment, you know, obviously to the two of you, I recognize you both. It's been a hell of a reacquaintance. We're going to continue to do this with our brothers and sisters. We're going to build this thing called Soulology. More and more people are remembering it. It's something with a different flavor. It's a remix of all the experiences and all the aspects that we contain. And we're no longer operating outside of this body. We're operating in this body, in the flesh, hand in hand. And I also wanted to say the same to everyone that's a part of this. And as I understood it from day one, everybody's in Soulology, whether you like it or not. That's just the way it is. And so I'm looking forward to continuing this on the network and having 1 in 4 shows be free to the public, because we're doing our part to build this new Earth grid, which means being the new Earth grid. Okay. We don't have to build anything. All we got to do is go right back in there behind her, like Elsa said, and just understand that it's all right in there. And we're just turning on the lights, room by room by room, show, by channel, by person. And here we are in this space that's going to be 1,000 people before too long subscribed. And then it will be 5,000, and then it'll be 10,000. May I remind you, that's the orders. 1/3 of everything that comes in goes back to the community. And it's going to be transparent, and it's based on gifting. So the IRS can kiss my ass. Thank you for serving us. Thank you for taking our money, and thank you for doing your part that we chose for you to do. But all this stuff is being deconstructed by the construction and manifestation and creation of by human terms. But what is it really? It's that's behind her, just understanding that it's all right in there, that it's all contained within us. And we're just turning the lights on by these collaborations and co-creations. And it's happening for us. All we have to do is just walk in cadence, on the soul highway. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. We'll continue to feather our way out of here. And we invite the world. And thank the both of you for showing up, and thank the both of you for giving the energy that you've given to Soulology and to the Soulology Fest. Because let me tell you something, I don't propose that I have all these different gifts, although I know I'm equal to everybody. One thing I can do is I can tap into the field of what is Soulology, and I can see the impact that you and some others in the recent weeks have the impact that you've had on it, and it's phenomenal. It's literally tens of thousands of people that you've brought here. So thank you both for today and every day.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I was told to meet you through the two sons. Two sons called me to my first Soulology open mic, and Smiley over here was part of it on the first time that I met you. So it's the sons. The two sons called me here. They told me of you months before. They said today's a day. And not only did they tell me, I had 3 emails tell me as well from people around the world. They kept saying two sons, two sons. I was like, this is how it happens. This is how it happens. This is how it happens. The light calls you. So it's okay. You don't have to do anything. It's just going to call you.
I didn't know that. That was the first time that you had participated with Todd was when we met. I thought you guys were old pals by then. The energy.
I was chicken. I was a
Wow.
big chicken coming on. And he's like, come on. But it was you as well.
Wow.
So both of you at the same time.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. So there's it. That's what this is. This is amazing. And it's the magic hall. And like Todd said many years ago, the one. We're the right ones. The Hopi knows it. They're the ones.
Saying jumping and levitating, so she keeps making big noises. Sorry about that.
Thank you both.
Pardon me. Go ahead, Elsa.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, I was just saying thanks to both of you. Thank you. Thanks to this is good. It feels right.
It's been an amazing experience to connect with both of you as well for me. Like it's been such a weird. I saw Todd before I knew he had a YouTube channel, and that whole weird thing.
Say hi. I'll say hi.
Hi.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's happening? How are you doing?
She needs a microphone. She can't hear you.
Oh,
Calm down.
hello. How are you
Hello.
doing?
Good. How are you doing?
This is
I'm doing
the
pretty good now that you're
Medina
here.
man. This is the
It's good.
littlest Dylan.
That's the littlest.
littlest getting bigger.
I've seen pictures of her.
Yeah.
I don't think I've met her. Oh, no, I did meet you one time. I think. No, maybe not. I'm old. I don't have a good memory. Older. But so
Like-
How old are you?
I am 11.
11. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Magic number.
Yeah. Of course she's
master
11.
number. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
It's good seeing you. God, the energy of these kids is just freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like crazy. God.
Yeah, they kind of pierce you, right? That's how I feel with Maddie. So that's why you're saying.
Yeah, Maddie's like, and
That's
this
why
kid-
this bringing in the new to
Yeah.
soulology this is bringing in the new with all
Yeah.
the soulology family, and then the
Yeah.
new coming in. This is good. This is the flow of it. It's very good. It feels
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah. I got another shot here. Okay. This is crazy. So it's my understanding. Look, Anna is helping to, what'd she call it? Get our systems down. Okay. Now, like I said, there's quite a few people that are stepping up, and it's just organic. Obviously, Marina, the two of you, Glennis has been phenomenal, all the producers. But so what I'm supposed to say here, I get it, but it sounds crazy. Anyone and everyone, and to be very quickly, this is no BS. You know, we got some big strides that we just covered in the last few days, and we have a big meeting this weekend with the IT people. Anyone that wants to produce a show, the systems will be in place in a few days, seriously, and we will produce every single one of these shows.
Wow.
Now, they won't all be on Soulology Main Street, because although maybe that's what the guidance, what ends up happening. But it's my understanding that that is an open, infinite, because again, it's a mirror. And we know it just continues to add frequencies to an ever expanding vibration. So this is what we're doing in embodiment, right? And the energy itself will bring those forth that are in alignment.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it happen. I'm just watching it happen. While I'm doing this show, I'm getting messages and literal messages, people, and I'm watching them get into alignment without even having to say anything. It's crazy. But anyway, yeah. So for those of you who have written and those of you who have made comments, because there's been 3 comments I've seen so far, absolutely. We'll get the systems together. There'll be a process. in that process, we'll also develop a chronology, and we'll develop a forecast of, like a waiting list. Like you're standing in line to come through the door, and you can see, like when you call those automated, and they're like, you will be on hold for approximately 22 minutes, so we'll be able to gauge what we can do. And I really am fascinated because of the openness of people. And somebody said that to me this morning. I think I can't, they said, because I said, oh, it was Anna. I was talking to Anna about this exact thing, right? And she said, and I said, I don't know what happened today, but like two people, like it's memberships were purchased and tickets were purchased, and and all this stuff, right? And then she said, well, what we just went through, all these people, and I forget the term she used, all these people are being awakened or at least at a higher level. The vision's getting more clear, or it's able to see better, more, whatever the case is, and they're seeing it. This is and their soul's calling for it. Now I know that there's not just one Soulji on this earth. I wouldn't think. There are other types of groups or whatever the case is, but this is definitely something very special is going on, and I can see it in the field. I can see the people going, hey, yeah, you know what? And I'm telling you, we're going to have 10,000 people on this site, and that's almost $500,000 a year, $40,000 a month that will go to the community, go to the producers. Oh, what better way? And isn't that sustenance? Isn't that the perfect abundance, to be able to do what you love, be with who you love, right? Create in community, and actually receive abundance for it.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? That's crazy. That's insane. And think about it. The lady from Canada, artist. And this is going back to Elsa, right? With her etymology. Artist. I mean, I'm starting to examine everything. I remember the arc, the turning it on, right? But think about an artist. Think about all the genius artists in the world, right? Mm. And what happens? What does the Matrix call them? Starving artists, right? Yeah. Starving artists. This is a great platform for artists, musicians, poets, people that make an art of cooking, whatever the case is. There's a captive audience that's coming here to see authentic, transparent soul expression. This is what I find so amazing, is that just like the story Elsa told, you can't make this up. No. You cannot make up that the first time she connected with you was the first time she came on. Yeah. And two sons, right? And there's another story there. We'll save that for next week. The two sons thing, dude, this one is, and it's in the making. Yeah. And it's fucking huge. I mean, it's like the biggest thing. I saw it this morning. Two sons. I saw what it looked like. Now, I'm not talking about two literal sons up there, but am I? See, that's the thing. I'm talking about two sons walking the face of the earth, right? And they're coming like this.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know you do. All right. We got another show in 25 minutes. Superhuman. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would like to just add, so there's a couple of points, but very quickly, all of this, everything that we're doing right now, everybody's like, what's my mission? What's my mission? To be happy. What makes you happy? Most of us is to create. By the way, someone had pointed something out that we learned recently, that the vibration of love is always been thought to be unmatched. It turns out authenticity, when being your authentic self, is actually a higher frequency. Now think about doing that with love. And that's the place, the container that Todd has created. I want to say this right now, because that's the hesitancy, is that not feeling safe, feeling like you'll be judged, put down in some way when you speak your truth. There's that one split second where you're about to say it and you don't. By the way, people like me, you've already sent the parcel. I'm hearing it, listening to it, because that's just how it works. You started it, but you stopped it with your voice. And so then it's limited your ability to express it. To express is to purge something. What does it mean to express, right? To release. And so the container that Todd here has made is that it's safe. It's a place where you can be yourself and you won't be judged, and you'll be loved for that. And not only that I found that it's like a unique experience is that you're respected for who you're not as well. And so it takes a little while to figure out. You don't have to edit, and you can just be you and loved anyway. And so I think that I'm trying to not cry because I want to be able to speak clearly. This is a space that is one of a ripple effect that is happening throughout the cosmos at this time. So a liberation can be had, those fibers we talked about, and the accessibility of this happiness. The whole point is able to be had in places like this. So either it's on the network or at the gatherings. Like any of you who haven't seen those, they were aired on YouTube. You can see them. You can see the joy. You can feel the experience, the energy. And these are just little moments here and there. This isn't the big event, And so, if you can, I encourage you. Not because I'm trying to help out a buddy that wants to make money. There's no money to be had in this. This is something that's a gift to you. And so there you go. Thank you.
Elsa, you're really the reason that we have this show. So
It's
you want
funny,
to take us
yeah.
through, take us out the door.
I didn't know that I was coming. I didn't know I was coming, but I knew the stars told me that I was. I didn't know this was the way it was going to happen, but the stars told me that it was. I didn't know that I would have this many children, but the stars knew. Then I realized that my stars were the dark star and the light star. We cast shadows on ourselves, and these are our tools. You're only here to sense and act. See, act. Thank you, Dr. Joe. See, act. That's what you're here to do. You're here to feel. And you can't make someone else feel something, but you can glimmer out and be that star for them. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm being the full me so that I can shine for others. And if they like it, they'll like it more. They'll come more. That's how it happens. I don't know how it works out, but it does. You're here to create. Creation does not want creating. It's here to create. So choose how you create. If you don't hear back from Todd straight away, or you don't hear back from that big thing, keep creating. Don't stop. What are you waiting for? Just keep creating. Just keep creating. And maybe it will happen a different way. But just keep being you and keep creating, because you're the only star like you. That's creation. That's creation. So that little star behind me is going to be spinning around in my head all day long. I just know. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you both. I'm going to be talking to you soon. Bye, everybody.